we're going to make some dough here. Let's look at the ingredients real quick. So what we have here is an all natural white flour. It's unbleached, unbromated. My recommendation for anything. And you need that for the protein, the strength that you get out of a dough.
The gluten.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like to marry that with a little bit of whole wheat flour.
Yeah.
The trend obviously going a little bit more into the whole grain. So I
Yeah.
think this is a good marriage.
Better for you, but whole wheat not having as much gluten, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I can bring those together.
Yeah.
And then what we have here, thank you very much, we have obviously salt. Salt is I mean, you cannot make bread without salt. You need a little bit. We usually look at it in a percentage, about 2, maximum 3%.
Okay, good.
Then I have my instant yeast. I like to work with instant yeast because it's very dependable. I can keep it in my fridge for a long period of time. They recommend about a month, but I sometimes stretch that and go to about 3 months.
And
so
you're adding it dry. See,
dry.
I proof mine.
Yeah, you don't have to with the instant yeast anymore. You can add it right to your dry ingredients. So here we have all the dry ingredients, and we're ready to go with those.
Okay.
And then obviously the key is always when you're mixing a dough, you want to get it to that ideal fermentation temperature, which we look at about 75 degrees. So we always add, or I like to at least add my liquid ingredients first. And I like to use a mixer. I'm getting too old to hand mix these things.
We got one for you right here.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And then we take the dry ingredients and just pour them right on top. So first speed, and then what we're looking for is those ingredients to come together. This will also tell me if I need some extra water.
Yeah.
My philosophy is always add more water is okay. You shouldn't add too much more flour.
Too hard.
Absolutely. This is what it looks like after it's gone through its, what I call bulk fermentation.
So this little is your little dough box here,
Absolutely.
right?
I love these things. These are great because I can actually see what's going on the side. I can see the fermentation that are going on. Bowls are good too. My recommendation is when I work with this stuff, plastic is neutral in temperature. So that it doesn't change in temperature.
Hot, doesn't get cold.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
So it works out really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a stretch and fold on this. This has been fermenting for about 45 minutes in a perfect world. So it's like making little folds. And then we actually put it back into that container and let it rest for another 45 minutes. The key is with bread, be patient. That's a real good hard lesson to learn at times in today's world at times. And if it sticks, obviously just flip it over, get some more flour on it, let this one rest, go back to this one now. So we got this, and I sometimes roll it a little bit more into an oval shape.
You're making a big calzone. Mine are a little smaller than that.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
One we have with mushrooms over here.
All right, so what did you do
This one's
here?
already prepped. We cooked the mushrooms down with little shallots, chives, a little salt, a little pepper, and then I folded in some Boursin cheese into it.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
So when you're doing this, obviously you've got to make sure that it's cold.
Right.
You don't want to be in a situation where it gets warm, you put it onto the dough, it proofs, and it just have a mess on it.
Okay.
And then for the other one, what we have here is sort of a nice summery vegetable
pretty.
thing.
Carrots.
It's got beautiful colors. I love this, and you can eat this too, just like this.
You've got some asparagus here, carrots, and you've got leeks.
We've got a little thyme in there,
Beautiful.
olive oil.
And this is?
It's a little goat cheese.
So you want some goat cheese in there?
Absolutely. If you could sprinkle that over there, that'd be perfect. And what I'll do is I'll form this one over here. And then what I do is I just wet my fingers just a tad and just run it along that bottom edge. Just get it a little sticky.
Okay.
And what I do is I fold the top over.
That's just how I do it.
Yeah.
Fold
a lot
the
of
top
common.
over. Yeah.
And then I just sort of flatten it out a little bit. And then what I do is I take my finger, and you can get that edge a little wet too. And you can just sort of crimp it over.
So you just
So I pull with my thumb and then fold.
Well, I
There
use a
we go.
fork for this.
Oh,
But this
fork,
isn't-
anything works. It's a different way. We used to make these filled breads in Switzerland.
Yes.
Like this. And it was sort of a nice little, it unwinds a little bit.
Because
and gets
that's
a nice
where
little
you were
decorative.
born, right?
Absolutely.
In Switzerland.
Yep.
All right, so once we have it like that, then what?
Then we put it onto a sheet pan.
Okay, then you
And
have
then
one right there.
then we cover it and we let it proof for about 45 minutes.
You don't let a little air hole on the top
I
or
don't,
anything?
actually.
Wow,
Yeah.
I let a little air hole on mine. All right, so now this is going to proof.
So we're going to proof it, and then we go into this stage right here.
How long is that going to proof for?
45 minutes, I think, is a
Okay.
good rule of thumb to go by.
All right, so here they are.
Here they are.
Beautiful. Now,
And I like to cover them with some plastic. Otherwise, what happens is they form a crust.
Yeah, okay.
So then what I do is we have a little bit of that savory oil that we talked about again.
Beautiful.
And what I'm going to do is just brush these. with a little bit of this oil. It gives it a nice aroma. I also do this when it comes out of the oven. Just brush it real quick
Once
with this.
you take it out, that's
Absolutely,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, what a wonderful
Gives a nice
idea.
little finish. Mm-hmm. And then what I do one more time is, just because now it doesn't stick so well, I just re-crimp that edge.
Oh yes, to make sure that that's going to stay.
And it really gives that nice little form on there.
Yeah, that's good. That's wonderful.
I'm going to put a little cheese on the outside of these.
Okay.
And I have that right
Where's
over
your
here.
cheese? Okay, good. What kind of cheese are we using?
But this is a blend. Obviously, being Swiss, I put a little Gruyere in there, but
Okay.
then mozzarella. And
Shall I sprinkle?
Oh, absolutely. If you can
Yeah.
sprinkle it over here, that'd be perfect.
Mozzarella, you've got, what else did you say?
We've got a little Asiago in there,
Oh, I love Asiago cheese.
and then some Gruyere cheese.
This is
Yeah.
nice. This is a very elegant
It looks nice, huh?
Mine's a little simpler.
Wow.
Okay, beautiful.
So we got that. Sometimes what I do too is, depending if I do two different fillings,
Yeah.
I'll take a little bran flakes and just sprinkle
Oh,
it over
this is
one.
good, yeah.
So it just gives a little color differentiation,
Yeah,
so that when
very
you
nice.
make a display with it.
Right, it looks pretty.
And now
That's
if you-
why you're the king of pastry and bread.
Well,
okay,
thank you
there
very
you
much.
Go. All right,
And
so
now we're ready for the oven.
So it goes in the oven. I'll help you.
That'd be great.